Hi, this is Lady Lex UK and here is another tutorial for Project Spark, and today I'm looking at destructible environments. And here we have some props that I'm going to destroy and also some terrain. And so let's start off with these trees. If you just put an ordinary tree down, I've got one of these decrepit trees here, and you try to attack it, nothing will happen. No damage whatsoever. And this is why. If you look in the tree brain, there is nothing in its brain, it's completely empty. But in its properties, if you go to combat, health and defenses, you'll see it's set to be invulnerable. Invulnerable equals on, and this will stop any damage happening to the health of this tree. So you can attack it and it's totally invulnerable to damage, so nothing will happen to the tree. It doesn't matter what team you set it to, whether attackable is on or whatever, it doesn't make any difference. With this on, you can't attack the tree. So here is another tree. I've put a line in its brain that will display its health so we can see it. And I've changed its properties. Health and defenses. I made its health slightly less so we can kill it quite quickly. And we've set the invulnerable to off. Attackable is on, destroy after death is on. And so let's see what that does. And you can do this with any prop, it doesn't have to be a tree, it could be any prop you like. It can be building, primitive, anything you like. There we go, and I've now destroyed this tree. Well, here's another tree, but again I can't attack this with my fists, nothing happens. However, I have a woodman's axe here. So, whoops, let's pick him up. And now I can attack my tree like this. Now if I went and I had a sword instead of the axe, nope, it won't let me attack the tree. It has to be the axe. Let's have a look and see how that works. So it says, in World Picker, my peasant there, when his equipment contains the axe, then invulnerable equals false, my tree, else invulnerable equals true. So it's a bit the same as a standard tree, but if he's got an axe, then we set it like that second tree, where we can attack it. And that's it. That's all you need for that bit of code. And for our final tree, I've tried to devise something that would be useful for us, like a survival style of game. So I've got my axe, and I'm going to attack this tree, and it's now falling over, and I can pick up the tree, and you see it says wood 1 in the top right hand corner where I've collected some wood. Okay, let me show you how that's done. Okay, so we've got the axe code up here, so he has to have the axe to it down. Now this little bit of code here, I'll show that in a minute. That's to do with where the B is going to be shown once it's fallen over. So let's not worry about that for now. Let's go down to this bit. So it says when health is greater than 0, display meter health above. And when health is less than or equal to 0, then we'll set a boolean called dying. Now you may be familiar with my death animation tutorial, and it's a very similar method. I've set a boolean called dying equals true, and this is where you can put in your death animation. And our death animation for this tree is this. For 4 seconds I'm going to pitch the tree a speed of 0.6, and then after that 4 seconds I'm going to make it interactable so you can pick it up, and if you pick it up the wood will be incremented by 1 point. So that's my death animation. Now you'll notice I did not use when Starty2 is dead. Now there's a reason for that. The tree doesn't have a death animation. A goblin or another character, there's a few seconds of it staggering about and turning around and falling over, etc., before it vanishes from the world. A prop doesn't have that animation. It just vanishes and then plays some sort of explosion effect. So we can't use Starty2 is dead for our death animation. Instead, we're going to use the health. So when it gets to 0, we're going to decide that that's a point, it is a dead tree. And if I go into properties, whoops, combat, health and defenses, you'll see invulnerable is off, but immortal is on. And destroy after death is also off. We set this tree to be immortal, so it will not die, and then but its health can be lowered, and once it gets to 0, we've given it a boolean that says you're a dead tree, so that it knows what to play its death animation. Now the other thing that that was in that brain is to do with the B symbol. Now let me just show you. Let me set that to 0 for a second, and let's change its health and defenses to something nice and low, so it won't, so we can kill it quickly. Okay, so let's attack this tree. Okay, it's gone over, and that bee is sort of floating up in the air because it doesn't really. It's showing it above the tree, and as far as it's concerned, that's over there. But because the tree's fallen over, that looks a bit ridiculous. So we want to put that bee in a different position. So what I've done is I put this little bit of code in. First of all, I've set it so that I've got a number variable called display b equals 1, and then we've got a b display position vector equals the bottom side position. And in my player brain, when it comes to detecting this, it says if its display b number variable is greater than 0, then display the b at the b display position. Otherwise, display the b above it as normal. So if it's got this inside its brain, it's going to show whatever is in its brain for the vector for this. So now that we've changed it, and we've changed it back to a 1, we go and attack this tree now. When it falls over, we wanted it at the bottom position, and there it is. That bee is now closest to the tree. And you can put that anywhere you like. There we go. So that's what that little bit of code does. Another bit of code that you might be interested in, this axe is embedded in this log here. By the way, this is an ordinary log that's plunged into the ground there like that. Now, this axe is normally tumbling, so if I was to just lay it like that in create mode and then press test, that would just fall on the floor. You don't want that. You want it to look like it's embedded in this. So what we do is we say once physics type equals fixed, and then once it's picked up, started to be equipped, we'll send that physics type back to tumbling, and for now and forever time it will be just an ordinary tumbling axe. Yeah, that's a little handy thing for you. Okay, now we've got some terrain and some grenades, so let's test that out. So I've got a crate here that if I interact with the crate, I pick up a grenade, and I can throw that at the ground like that, or I can, whoops, I'm throwing a rock, I've got to pick another one up. I can throw it up like that and it will stick to the wall. And that's making a hole like that, sticking to the wall, and it's blowing away that. And if I was to throw it at our tree here, whoops, I think I missed the tree, whoops, I'm not very good. Let me see if I can get it in the tree. I can get it in the tree. Oh, what am I doing? Picking up my bow and arrow. No! There we go. I've got it in the tree. There we go. It's blown our tree up. There we go. It's gone. Now over here, I'm going to pick up my axe. And I'm going to go over this end. And I'm going to attack this terrain with my axe. And it's making a hole. There we go, and we're through. And I've made a nice little tunnel all the way through my terrain. Let me show you how both those things are done. Okay, first of all you have our grenades. These are astromarine grenades, and I've just changed them slightly. So first of all, I've said once you've thrown your projectile and it bumps terrain or bumps a prop, then we'll set its physics type to be fixed. That means it will become like a sticky bomb and it will stay there in the position of where it's bumped. And then down here, when we get to detonate the bomb, we're going to subtract terrain at a radius of 2 before we destroy the marine grenade. Enemies will be damaged the same as normal, but it's going to take out some of that terrain. And that's it. That makes a sticky grenade that will affect terrain as well as blow up your enemies. Now this over here, I've got a path and a cylinder, and the path goes all the way through my terrain in the route that I want the player to be able to dig. And in my cylinder here, it says once Boolean move equals false, and then when hit by attack, subtract terrain a box size of 2 from my center position, and then move equals true. When move equals true, duration time of 0.15, move on path, down the path, and then move equals false. Now you can change this number so you can move it a little bit faster. I think we can do it to 0.3 for example, but it will move down that path, and as you hit it, it's going to subtract the terrain, so you'll be able to tunnel through. And let's just try that. I like to do it with the axe, but I think you can do it with your fists or the sword. Let's pick a sword up. Let's hit it with the sword. There we go. So we're tunneling through. There we go. We're through, all the way through to the other side. There we go. So I hope that's of use to you and that was interesting. So you can have destructible environments for props and terrain, and there's all sorts of things you can do with it. So thank you for watching, and keep sparking.